Everyone. If you have a question, go ahead and raise your hand. We'll get started with Chase.
Scott, Russell tied Oscar tonight. He also had the go-ahead free throws and the block in the final seconds. What can you just say about the performance that he had tonight?
I mean, I've probably said enough about him throughout the year and a lot recently. You guys know how I feel. I love his spirit, his determination. He's really, really, really helped us become a better team, and that's vintage, rebound, making a clutch shot, blocking a shot. Those are all great things, and they're team things. That's what he's about. Russell's about team, and he's always been that way.
And Brad,
what an incredible. I mean, I got so much respect for Oscar Robinson. I mean, like I've said it many times privately and in front of you guys, it's really amazing that growing up, you saw that record. You just thought that would never be touched, because I grew up following the game so much, and as a high level point guard is 5 rebounds, 6 rebounds, maybe. Fat Lever, he probably had 7 or 8 any given year. Magic probably had, I don't know, maybe his high was 8 or 9. But for him to tie his record and a chance to break it is just absolute. It's like incredible, and that's Russell. He's an incredible player and person.
And obviously Brad, 50 points, but wasn't able to play there at the end. What was hurting him?
Yeah, Brad kept. We didn't have much tonight. We were, for some reason, we were flat, and they play a lot of small lineups and fast. This team is fast, and Brad kept us in. He kept us in the game with his ability to score. You can't guard him by yourself. That's been proven the last 3 years. People have double teamed them for 2 straight years, and he's averaged over 30 points a game. And now lately, the last couple of games, they were putting 3 guys on him. He's that good. He's an all NBA player. And we have 2 amazing guards that lead us every night. What they do for us is obviously important, but how they teach our younger players how to prepare is as important, because that's going to really help us as we get more experience throughout the years. The foundation of every young player is important. It's not veteran players, it's the right veteran players. That's how you get a good foundation as a young player. And we got a couple of really good ones. Even Rollo. Rollo had the line of the night. Coach, I don't know if you know this, but we needed this for just some good ratings. So hang in there, have a good night's rest. And he was dead serious. I'm like, okay, that's funny, Rollo. That's why you got your hook shot blocked twice tonight. I didn't say that, but I was thinking it. I'll say that tomorrow to him. Brad, he tweaked his hamstring. Actually, he tweaked his ankle. But, Brad knows his body better than, both of those guys. It's incredible how they know their body. Brad knows it as well as anybody, and he didn't want to push it at the end. He tried to, but, our guys helped him. We don't need you to push it. And hopefully it's nothing too serious, but I've seen him recover with ankles, and his body is all different ways, and he figures out a way to bounce back. But we won't know that until the next couple of days before our next game.
Fred.
Hey, Scott. Just getting back to Russell, he seems to have a flair for the dramatic. So many of these moments for him tend to come in the most dramatic possible way. I don't know if you remember the the Denver game from a few years ago when he broke Oscar's single season triple-double record, and he ends up hitting in that one. Tonight he gets the game-winning block. What is it about him that tends to bring that out in moments like this?
Well, he's been one. He's worked as he wasn't given anything. If you know his history, you know him. He wasn't given anything. His dad made him earn everything. His mom made him earn everything, and there wasn't a lot of offers. I mean, Irvine didn't even want to get him, so he finally ended up wanting to go to maybe UCLA is probably second choice, but he just has determination and grit. He has the mindset and the work ethic as a reserve, as a guy trying to make the team. And a lot of the great ones. I mean, I'm not saying he's the only one that has that mentality. A lot of the great ones. I've been around a lot of them. Patrick Ewing, Jason Kidd, Olajuwon, Charles Barkley. They all have that greatness in them that sometimes you ask yourself, why do they come back and work so hard? They can get 25 and 15 rebounds any given night, but they have that mentality. That's what makes them great. Their skill set, their talent, but their drive. And he has it. And I'm proud of him. There's not a lot of things I haven't said about him. I love coaching him. I coach him harder than probably people realize. Now it's a lot of times it's through one-on-one conversations or text messages or phone calls throughout the day, and he will call me and he will coach me too at times and tell me what he sees. And we got a good relationship. We understand each other very well. But him and Brad in our backcourt, we feel like we can compete against anybody, and we have. All of our losses have been basically last second plays and or shots, but we've been in every game for 6 weeks now.
Ava.
Scott, I believe you guys also moved into sole possession of 9th place in the East with this win. Just how big of a deal is that for you guys to potentially, if you can hold on, get to not be on the road for the play-in?
No, it's huge where we were. I mean, where we were. I know you guys asked me how I put up a good face. It was challenging at times, but I had confidence somehow we can get together and stay together and get on a nice little stretch of just being able to play games and not have to worry about guys coming in and out. And we still haven't had that yet. During that stretch, we always had, seems like one or two guys miss it, but it's great that we're put ourselves in the play-in position. We're still not there. The magic number, I don't know what it is now. Is it 2 to get in? But we just want to keep playing good basketball going into it. If we can keep moving up, that'd be great.
And you talked about obviously Brad and Russ, but how well suited do those guys make you for a single elimination type of play-in tournament?
Say that again. I'm sorry, Ava. I lost the first part.
How you talked about what Brad and Russ are kind of able to just pull out of nowhere on a given night, but how well suited does that make you guys as a team for the single elimination type of play-in?
No, I mean they obviously our two best players have to play well, but our other players have to be stars in their roles, and we did that tonight. I thought Gaff came in after he got the three quick fouls. He came in and really made an impact on the game. Alex, I thought he did a good job making an impact, but everybody stepped up. Rui hit some timely shots. Got some timely shots, but the defense in the fourth quarter and overtime, that's what won the game. This team is hard to guard. I mean, they play, with all their injured, their big is out. They play fast, and they got little guards. Sometimes they've got 3 little guards on the court, and they break you down and play the driving kick game. And they got Sabonis as a bull down there. He's hard to guard. You know what he's going to do. He's going over his left shoulder, and you try to keep it from happening, but he's so powerful and quick and relentless, and he gets there. But everybody has to step in once we get in the play-in game.
Zach.
Coach, did tonight kind of remind you of like a more of a 90s game. Everyone was kind of getting hit hard. I mean, the scoring was up there, but Sabonis was getting knocked over. I saw another guy in the Pacers was hurt. 3 of your guys got nicked up. Just felt more like playoff time, right?
Yeah, no, it was, we were playing for something. Both teams, they wanted it. They wanted it. They didn't want to lose to us again. We just played them last week. They threw everything out there, and they have a lot of stuff going on. But you still got to compete. Whatever goes on, everybody has a job to do. Players, coaches, referees, you all got to do it. And we knew that they were going to do that. We knew they were going to come out. I tried to warn the guys during our breakfast meeting and pregame that we cannot make this a track meet. We got to be a defensive team tonight, and we did it in the fourth quarter. Only allowed them 23 points, and if we didn't do that, we were going to lose by 8.
I mean, what does that say about your team that you, in your words, only played defense in the fourth quarter and still found a way to win like a must-win game?
Yeah, we got resolve. That's what they're about. It's a resilient group that is determined, and they've kind of taken all these challenges. They take all these challenges. Like Russell took the challenge. I know he knew the NBA's best scorer was out, or right there with Curry. But he took the challenge. He did like the last block. He's one of the few guys. It's like prime time. Dion. He has makeup speed. Russell can get beat, but his makeup speed is probably as good as anybody in the league. And his size and his ability to get from, his jumping ability as well as his quickness gave him that opportunity to block. Nobody could have been where he was. He actually messed up the coverage. We weren't going to switch that. And he was going to, and it dawned on him that we weren't going to. And his burners came in and blocked the shot. His makeup speed is incredible.
Matt Paris.
Hey, Scott. The first time you guys played Indiana, Russ was, I believe, 20. He would need 20 or 19 triple doubles in the last 28 games to tie this record. I mean, just the pace at which he's doing this. I think now it's 19 and 24 games. Just, are you surprised that he got there this fast? I mean,
yeah. I mean, it's. I'm just glad he's selfish, man. I love selfish players, and he was able to, to do this with his. I mean, his triple. I mean, I know I'm joking, obviously, but his. No, I didn't think he would get it this year, but I knew he's going to get it. And he's going to get it, and he's going to pass it for, I don't know where he's going to end up with. It's really all depends how long he wants to play. But for him to pass up Oscar Robinson is, like I said, absolutely incredible. I wish somehow, some way he can come. I'd love to meet him. He's one of my heroes, and obviously Russell, probably his dad's heroes. But the break Oscar's record is unbelievable. There's certain players in the league history that you just they're just on a pedestal. You just don't think that they're even real. So until you meet them, you just think there's some mythical character. But Oscar Robinson is one of the greatest players that ever played the game. And he's arguably the top 10 players, but to break his record it's hard to believe, coaching Russell, 13 years ago, that I would be saying that he's going to break Oscar Robinson's record. It's hard to believe, but I'm happy that I'm saying that because he's really special player.
Thanks.
We'll wrap up with Neil.
Scott, 5 straight games you guys have allowed 125 or more points. What are some of the things that you want to get cleaned up going into Atlanta?
Well, I mean, we're definitely playing a lot of fast teams. That's not an excuse, but these are the top teams in the league scoring. The good thing about it, we can score as well as any team in the league right now. We're playing at a high level. Things are starting to click. Russell and Brad are just, I thought, they would be able to play like this and play this well together. I mean, unfortunately, Russell hurt his quad early in the season, so it took him a while to get into form. Because when you have an injury like that, you have to slow down in your habits, and But he finally turned it around, and those two guys are pretty incredible players. What'd you ask me anyway?
What are you hoping to improve going into Atlanta?
Oh, okay. No, we got to get back in transition. I mean, Atlanta's obviously, they got a lot of good players. They got a lot of good wing players. I mean, he's a handful for anybody. And Capella is one of the best rolling bigs and lob catchers and rebounders, shot blockers in the league. But their wing players they got some injured players, but they got enough to survive about 3 injuries because they're really deep at those spots. But we're gonna have to play well. It's gonna be a great challenge for us. We get to be in Atlanta for 2 games. It's kind of like a mini playoff series. So hopefully Brad is gonna be able to, see how he is the next couple of days. But if not, somebody else is gonna have to step up and help us win the next 2 games.
All right, thanks, Coach.
All right, appreciate it, guys.
First of all, I know you and Russ go way back. Sure you expected this night would happen for a long time, but what was it like seeing him tie Oscar Robertson?
It was funny. I told him we was on the free throw line. I think he just got not a free throw line. They were shooting a free throw, and he was talking to me about a lob that I guess I missed him on. And I told him, I was like, forget about the lob, man. I want to be the first to tell you congratulations, man. So happy for him, proud of him. And then I was like, let's go win this game. And that's exactly what we did. So, man, it's something that I don't think will ever be broken. I'm sure Oscar thought the same thing, but, what Russ has done over his career is pretty special. I'm happy for him, happy for his family. This is something that tonight he really needs to enjoy and kind of soak it all in because it's an amazing feat.
And what was it like just post game as Russ went into the locker room? I'm sure you guys were pretty happy for him as a team.
Yeah, and I'm sure it was a huge weight on his shoulder. I don't care what anybody says, just to kind of get it over with, get it done. We obviously did the whole throw the water bottle and water on you ritual. And I know it feels good to get a triple-double with a win. And so again, it's something that he probably really has, soak it all in because this is an amazing feat for him and his family. And it's just basically he brings it every single night, rebounding, scoring, assisting, steals. And, so this is not a situation where it was a selfish stat. He really brings it every night and he deserves, all the accolades.
Fred.
Hey, Ish. You have known Russ for a really long time, as Chase said, and I know you've talked a lot about just kind of how competitive of a guy he is. Where I feel like you know him well enough to maybe have some insight into this. Where do you think that competitiveness comes from with him?
Honestly, I think some people just made like that. Obviously you would have to go in, into his background and basis, his mom and dad. But I'm gonna just be honest with you. He's just made like that. He's just competitive. He has a will to win. And it's probably comes a long way with, not being highly recruited growing up. I've told you guys a story about, he came to Wake Forest. We thought we was going to get him at Wake Forest. He wasn't a 4-star, 3-star, 2-star, 1-star at all. And that will and that fight, and that grit to be really, really good. I think that had, a tribute to it. You got to give his mom and dad, his brother, a lot of credit. Matter of fact, I would say all of the credit. That's the basis. He's got an amazing family. They put everything that you see out there on the floor and off the court in them, and so they get a lot of credit. So, you got to add all those things in there, and then you get a Russell Westbrook.
Brianna.
Hey, Ish. So, of course, looking back to the beginning of this season and just seeing how far you guys have come to now, I mean, just thinking back when you were out for COVID and all of those things, and then now to be able to push to be in the play-in tournament and all of that. I mean, what can you say about yourself and just being able to bounce back from that, and what's to look forward to with these last closing out games?
Yeah, I know it sounds corny and cliche, but the season is kind of like life. You don't get too high, you don't get too low. You keep pushing and you keep pressing, knowing that you're trying to race to the finish line. And I hope, our season, my career, is an example for a lot of people to kind of keep pushing through to get whatever destination you want to get to. And obviously you look back, COVID, guys hurt, guys banged up. We were 14, 15 games under 500. And now we're sitting in a situation where we're 31 and, I think 36. We're not done yet. We got to, again, like I said, run through that finish line. But it's a situation where it's perseverance, it's pushing through. It's not getting too high, too low, staying even keel and continue to work and push, till you get to the end. And then that's when you can kind of do your, assessment. But while you're in the fight, while you're in the race, you don't have time. And you don't have time to be overly emotional or have no emotions. You got to stay even keel. And I think that's what we did as a team.
Jason.
Brad had 50 points, but it looked like he was in quite a bit of pain toward the end there. Saw a lot of guys kind of patting him on the back. Just what did that effort that he put forth for you guys mean to the team?
That was pretty special. For him to go down, first and foremost, he went out first in the beginning of the second half, and we didn't know if we was going to be able to get him back. But he put his body on the line, came back and had an heroic performance. I mean, he had a 50 ball, and that was special. I don't think we win this game if he doesn't play as well, if he doesn't play. B does what B, I always tell him before the game, do what you do. And he does, and he did what he did tonight and push it through a win. And, obviously he was in a lot of pain. So, he'll be okay. He's tough. He's from St. Louis.
That's all the time I got for Ish tonight. Appreciate you. We'll have Brad up here in just a sec.
Brad, first of all, hope you're feeling okay. We saw you kind of appear to roll your ankle or something, but when did you tweak the hamstring?
First, praise my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Honestly, I couldn't tell you when I tweaked it. I knew it was just a little tight in the second half. I mean, the first play of the second half, I twisted my damn ankle. I just wanted to make sure I went in the bag, make sure it wasn't too crazy. I'm always a guy who bounces back pretty quick, especially with ankle injuries. But I went back out there, my left hammy felt a little tight. I didn't think anything of it. I just kept playing, pushed through it, and then I think the layup on McDermott at the end to put us at one, that kind of intensified it a little bit. And then the final little floater I missed at the end, that definitely that kind of put it over the top for me. So coach just played it smart, got me out of there, and thank God we closed it out.
And you said the other night after your 40-point game that you were having fun again. You were enjoying being here. Obviously, winning helps all of those things. But where are you at this point? 50 points tonight. You have to be having fun still, even if you're a little banged up.
Of course, I had the honor of having my parents at the game tonight. They drove up 3 or 4 hours, so the last thing I'm gonna do is waste their damn time and watching me play like ass. So my mom wouldn't let me live that down. So I always have fun and play hard whenever she's in town. So I give this one to them.
Chase.
Brad, just what can you say about the way that the team closed it out at the end of regulation and then overtime is obviously you weren't able to get back out there?
It was obviously tough for me. I'm always a warrior. You guys know that. Nobody will ever be able to question my toughness and, my commitment to the team and my desire to just lay my body out there no matter what. So in that regard, it's always great to be able to have your teammates have your back and your support when you go down. And it's always next man up to step up and do their job and contribute as best as it can. Davies hit some big shots down the stretch, and Russ took over. He's been excellent all year. I'm happy for him. He got what, 180, 181 a day. So that's a blessing, man. And we're all happy to be a part of that. It was a historical night for everybody. It's a bigger win. The win is huge. We move up to ninth too, so it's even much more better.
Zach.
Brad, what are you gonna remember most about this night in particular? I mean, don't say the injury, but outside of that, imagine if this is one of those games like you're gonna look back on in your career and be like, wow, that was one of those that you'll just never forget.
For sure. We were a part of Russ's historical night tonight, and I think that kind of takes the cake on everything. From the history of the game, the evolution of the game, and to where we are now. And Russ is one of the best players to ever pick up a basketball. And to do that on a nightly basis, it's very tough to do. I think people kind of kind of side eye him like it's past that or whatever the case may be, but you try going out there and doing it every single night. It's very tough to do. It's tough to get yourself mentally ready, so for you to do that every single game, and what's this, his fourth time doing it, that speaks volumes. That just shows his approach to the game, how seriously he approaches it and how seriously he loves it. He dedicates his all to his craft, to his body. And we're happy as an organization we were part of it tonight.
Have you kind of found like a new love for the game playing with him?
I would say my approach has been different. I feel like I always loved the game. But I would say my approach to the game and my mental and just being locked in and being, one of the best players on the floor at all times and channeling that mindset, I think I definitely credit him for that, to be able to witness him. He's MVP. I say it all the time whenever he's talking, I'm listening. He's giving advice, I'm listening. And because that's where I want to be one day. So it's just a matter of just constantly trusting your work, putting in that work, and letting the results speak for themselves. But I definitely credit a lot of my success this year to him, for sure.
Last question from Fred.
Hey, Brad. You guys have talked so much about Russ's competitiveness this year and how that's had an effect on you. I'm wondering, he's also kind of one of the most routine-oriented guys I've ever covered. Seems to have do the exact same thing every day, every practice. When you watch a guy who has that exact same routine all the time and obviously has that kind of success with it, how does the routine aspect impact either you or maybe other guys on the roster?
Doesn't. Every man has their own routine. I have mine. Every man has their routine before games, off days. I do the same things whenever I work out. My shooting routine is the same. My workout routine is the same. And the same way, I think everybody's like that in the league. You eventually, first couple of years, you try to figure out what your niche is, figure out what works for you. And then eventually, you're able to develop yourself into a player to where what you have to work on, what you're going to do on the floor, and you try to perfect those things. And he's definitely one of those guys, just his attention to detail, his attention to his body. He take care of his body. I think that's more key than anything. It's being healthy. You're a healthy body, you're a threat at all times. So it's amazing to see and definitely honored to be a part of it. And you could say a lot of his tendencies have kind of trickled down to the rest of the team.
All right, Brad. Appreciate you.
Russ, first of all, as you're well aware, you tied Oscar Robertson. We've asked you about it so many times, but now that you've gotten to this point and you've actually tied it, what does it mean to you?
Like I've always mentioned, I'm always so grateful and thankful and blessed. I give all my thanks to the man above for blessing me with talents to be able to go out and compete in each year, each season. Along this journey, I try to find ways to be a better player, competitor overall. And I take a lot of pride in doing everything that impact winning as much as I can, leave it on the floor and to be, in a conversation with Oscar. For one, I want to just thank him because he set the stage and he sacrificed a lot of things for us to be able to go out and play. And the times he played in and the things he was able to do back in the day has allowed me to be able to do the things I want to do today. And I'm just grateful for him and I'm grateful for his words. And I'm so appreciative of his support as well.
And there was an offensive rebound you had with like 4 minutes left in regulation where you beat 3 players to get it and then passed it to Rui for 2. And it's kind of happened a few times this season where an offensive rebound and then it'll be a close game. Is that kind of part of why, you just give 100% all the time because you never know what play might make the difference?
Yeah, you got to want it more than another player. And that's simple as that. You can kind of go through emotions and kind of let the game take control of you, or you can take control of the game. And for me, I always try to find ways to impact and help us do anything I can to help us win. And that was a big play, I think, for us. Rui got off the rebound as well. And, it was a big time play for us at the time.
Ava.
Congratulations, Russ. Are you in a place where you're able to kind of appreciate what you've done, or is your mind already going like, let's see how far I can take this?
Thank you first. Honestly, I take the same approach every night. And every time I step on the floor, I try to leave everything I have and along the journey. If history and things are made at that time, I'm super grateful and thankful for it along that time. But I want to make sure that I leave everything I have on the floor. And when I'm all said and done, I can look back and, nobody can ever say that I didn't compete at the highest level or cheated the game. I can go out and compete every night. And that's all I can do each and every day.
Fred.
Hey, Russ. You people around you have always described you as this guy who you're very routine oriented. You go through the same stuff to get ready for every game, every practice, everything. Where did you learn that from? Who's responsible for teaching you that strategy?
My parents, particularly my mom, because she always taught me to be on time, always taught me to be ready, always kind of taught me to kind of make sure that I have, everything in order and kind of everything else will fall in place. My parents did a good job of raising myself and my brother, and I give them the thanks for making sure and creating that mentality in my mind of having to stay on a routine. And then as I got in the league, I was able to talk to the greats and Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and understand what it takes to be great. And having a routine, having something that you stick to regardless of good or bad, win or loss. Consistency is the hardest thing to do in this league, and I take pride of being one of the most consistent players, to even play this game. And with that comes a lot of sacrifice, time away from my family and kids and people that are my loved ones. And, I'm grateful that they understand, the mission and understanding that I take my job very seriously. So it's a lot that goes into it, man. It's, and it's good to just kind of see it work out and play out for you sometimes. And sometimes it don't, but I always stay consistent and stay prayerful and having faith in my craft.
Matt Paris.
Hey, Russ. What do you remember about meeting Oscar in 2017? And just, it was after you you averaged a triple-double for the first time. Just what do you remember about that meeting?
Honestly, the meeting wasn't even, for me, was, I was just kind of overwhelmed, honestly, and just all smiles because he flew to Oklahoma City, which he didn't have to do that. He took the time out of his day and the things that he has going on to come present me with an award and sit down and talk to myself and my family and just about that moment. I was able to just talk about a life because I was honestly more interested in there were a lot of social change and social injustice going on while he was playing, and I was very intrigued about how he was able to kind of get past that and still compete at a high level. And, I was able to learn a lot. I was able to kind of sit back and understand how, he sacrificed so many things and the way he played the game and to go too many things. And, I got no excuses to go out and compete and do what I do. And I was grateful for that conversation.
And what you guys have done as players within the past year terms of all the social justice you guys have done for the movement. Just, was there anything that he said to you that kind of helped you navigate this past year?
No, nothing. I was already kind of, my mind's already
Sure.
was already there. Honestly, I'm always grateful and show my respects to the ones before me, because if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be able to play the game and do some of the things we're allowed to do today. So I'm very respectful of the ones before me.
Zach Akuma.
Hey, Russell. I think it was your 9th season that you started averaging double-digit rebounds. But what do you think changed for you that allowed you to start averaging 11, 12 rebounds instead of 7 or 8 rebounds?
I don't know. I just go get it. Like I said, when I'm on the floor, I feel like I'm the best rebounder on the floor. And that's just what it is.
Thank you.
All right, last question to Chase.
Yeah, Russ, you had the go-ahead free throws, the block at the end, and it was all, of course, after Brad went out. When he did go out, what was your mindset as you went out and closed the game?
I think at that time you try to find ways to be able to, bring the team along and find ways to execute down the stretch, especially in overtime, and find ways to win the game. That's all you can think about. And hopefully, we can get Brad back and hope for good news and make sure that he's all good to go. Because, his night can't go unnoticed either. He had 50. As much as we talk about myself, he's kind of been keeping us together along the season and being very exceptional along this journey. So I'm grateful to have him as a teammate and to see him, do great things for himself as well.
All right, Russ. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. That is it for tonight. We'll see everyone back here later this week.